Everyone, so in today's video I'm answering your embarrassing beauty questions, and a bunch of you sent me over some questions on emails and Instagram and that kind of thing, and I'm going to do my best to get through as many questions as possible. But warning, if you are a little bit squeamish, you don't like this type of talk, then this video might not be for you, because we are going to go into detail here. And I'm going to start with the Instagram questions. So the first question, I'm not going to kind of mention people's names because I just think that it's a little bit more kind of respectful that way, even though everyone can see, but I'm just going to run through the questions. The first one is, how do you get rid of nose hair? Do you get rid of your nose hair? If so, how? So one thing I'm going to mention first of all as a little disclaimer is some of these things I might not necessarily struggle with, others I might struggle with, so I'll kind of tell you my personal experience with it as well, because that affects how I would suggest you deal with it. So if someone says, you know, how do you get rid of acne? I don't have acne, so it's difficult for me to say. I can just give you kind of my personal opinion on it, but it's not necessarily something that I have experienced. So yeah, nose hair, everyone has nose hair, it's there for a reason, it's there to kind of protect the inside of your nose. If it really bothers you and if it kind of pokes through kind of the underneath part of your nostrils, I would just suggest going to someone and having it waxed. I think it's probably really painful. I've never had it done because obviously it's inside your nose and I don't regularly look inside my nose anyway. But if you are someone who struggles with that and wants to get rid of it, waxing I think would be the way to go, or one of those kind of little nose trimmers. That might do the trick as well. So that's nose hair. Second question, what are your preferred period stuff? Not very innovative, but always fun to know. So I know a lot of people have kind of been doing the period videos and the kind of PMTs and all that kind of thing. If you want me to do kind of my experience and my personal opinion on that type of thing, then let me know and I will do that. I just kind of didn't want to do one just for the sake of it, because it might look like I was just copying other people. But so my preferred period stuff, I like tampons, don't like sanitary towels at all. I cannot fathom using them again like I did when I was younger, but nowadays tampons all the way. I like the Tampax ones, and I like to use kind of one of those Femme Fresh sprays. I don't ever use those during any other times, but during your period I think you need a little bit of kind of freshness inserted kind of thing, and I like to just do that. And in terms of kind of hygiene and that type of thing, I think kind of showering really often and just keeping yourself really, really clean is important. I do get really, really bad stomach cramps and things like that when I have period though. Next question is, do you have peach fuzz on your face, and if so, does it conflict with your foundation? I don't suffer from peach fuzz on my face. I do have kind of some facial hair that I'll discuss in a minute, but peach fuzz, no. I think the kind of method with peach fuzz, if you don't want to remove it, is laying your foundation down kind of flat. So for example, if you had peach fuzz kind of here, instead of buffing your foundation all around, try and kind of lay it and smooth it over the top, and that way it doesn't make it as noticeable. That's kind of what I found when I've been doing other people's makeup, and they do have a little bit, just kind of smoothing it down as opposed to kind of moving it all around helps it to not be as noticeable, because it's only blonde hair, you don't really need to remove it. Then how do, these are two kind of similar questions. What should I do with my hair down there, shapes, etc. And how do you make your bikini line smooth? Can't wax and I have really sensitive skin. So I've got really, really sensitive skin down there, and I do wax and my skin looks like it's been kind of brutally attacked, which, let's face it, it has been for a few days afterwards. But shapes down there, I personally prefer just a landing strip. I think it kind of looks the tidiest, and the hair doesn't necessarily grow that evenly there, so I can never get it into that kind of nice triangle shape. But I do a full Brazilian wax and just leave a landing strip. If you don't want to do that, then just keeping everything kind of trimmed nicely is always kind of a nice look in my opinion. And I do always like it when people just have kind of like a small triangle at the top. I think that looks quite nice, but I can never get mine to look like that. And TMI, this whole video is like a major TMI alert anyway, but I have really, really thick, dark, coarse hair, and it's difficult to kind of get it to look good in anything other than the landing strip. So that is what we do. And then in terms of the sensitivity and keeping it smooth, this is something that's really difficult. I struggle with this, I'll admit. I've not found the kind of best method for avoiding this yet. It's something that I really do struggle with, and I think a lot of women do. I get bumps, I get ingrown hairs. I find kind of keeping the area scrubbed and really clean helpful, and using some sort of like anti-ingrown hair solution. I'm using one from the shaving company at the moment, but I haven't found anything yet that has helped me. Right, okay, sometimes I get hair on the top of my lip, and my skin's pretty dark and I hate it. If you have the same issue, how do you get rid of it without having to shave your face, as that's what men do, not ladies? So I do remove the hair on my upper lip. I've got dark hair, I've got dark eyebrows. My body hair is not super dark, kind of like on my arms and legs, and it goes blonde. Like when I went on holiday, it literally just all turned blonde. It was amazing. And arms and legs, that is, yeah. I wasn't like lying there trying to bleach other things. But I definitely do get a little bit of something up there, and it's not even really hair. Sometimes it just creates that little bit of a shadow that I don't think looks very nice. My chosen method is waxing all the way. I know a lot of people like bleaching it and to do Jolene, but I just think it looks nicer when there's nothing there. So I get the little Veet wax strips that you can use for your bikini. They do special facial ones, and just kind of pop it here, pull the skin a little bit taut and whip it off. Best method. And then in between you can just tweeze the odd one. I find that really helpful. And kind of do it every 3 weeks or so. It can leave your skin feeling quite agitated and quite angry. My skin does get quite sensitive, but it's definitely a must-have for me, and it's not something you should be, embarrassed about. Everyone does. I think it's just kind of a protection for your kind of lip area, and if you've got dark hair, it comes with the territory. Quite embarrassing, but this has been bothering me a lot lately. Do you or any of you ladies have little hairs around your nipple? I noticed them 3 months ago, and lately they're quite more. What do I do with them? I want to get rid of them. This is really common. I think it's something that's probably really taboo, but it's a very common fact. I personally think the best way would probably just be to tweeze them. Unless it's really bad, I think waxing that area would probably be really painful, so I wouldn't recommend that. But just tweezing them should be fine, and if you don't want to, then maybe epilating, because that's kind of the same method, although I think that would hurt like a mother. Okay, fake tan and sweat marks, and I'm not talking about on clothes. How do you avoid getting that snakeskin look around your armpit a day or two after tanning? I always end up body brushing it off. It becomes a pain. And then a question about kind of scalp dryness and that kind of thing. So with the tan, I find not putting any deodorant on when you're tanning is key. If you've been putting deodorant on, that might be a huge cause of why it goes funny. Don't put any deodorant on when you're tanning, and just try and kind of take it kind of in the area of where your underarm is, like that's where my top is, this is where my underarm actually is, and just kind of dab it lightly. You don't want a lot of product there, because that's how it does that horrible snakeskin buildup. And just kind of walk around like that for a little bit until it's dried, and you should be okay. But avoiding deodorant is key. And then in terms of the itchy scalp thing, I've got quite sensitive scalp. I get a really itchy scalp, and I woke up this morning and I hadn't washed my hair for a few days. I was going to wash it last night, and then I was so tired and it was really late and I was doing stuff and I just didn't get around to doing it. So I woke up this morning and I needed washing it. My scalp was itching like crazy, and I was constantly going in my sleep. And I was like, you need to get up out of bed and wash your hair, because that's a little bit gross. But keeping your hair really clean and using kind of build-up removers. The Boots one has been discontinued, as she pointed out. I really like the Bumble and Bumble, is it Sunday shampoo? That's a really good one. And just keeping your hair really clean. And if all else fails, by the way, this is a kind of interesting fact, using a little bit of washing up liquid as shampoo really does help to get any build-up. Last resort, and it makes your hair feel like straw, but it does work if you've got a bad case of kind of product gunk on there. And then how to prevent yellowing of the toenails and bad breath, embarrassing things. So, yellowing of the toenails. My toenails are super yellow because I've probably had nail polish on my toes for the past, no exaggeration, 15 years. and I can't look at my toes with that nail polish on. Like, literally, it makes me feel sick. I really, 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 really don't like it. So I like to just make sure that I kind of treat my nails as well as I can, and you can get different products. OPI does one. I can't think of the name of it off the top of my head, but if I remember, I'll put a little annotation here of just a nice kind of lightening polish, and they do, a lot of those types of products really do help to prevent the yellowness from the nails. But using a top coat and a base coat are absolute key, especially the base coat. If you use a base coat, then that's really, really going to help prevent it if you wear nail polish. If you don't wear nail polish and you've got yellowing of the toenails, I would suggest going to kind of see someone about that, because it can kind of be to do with your sweat glands and that type of thing, and there might be some simple solution that you could do to prevent that. In terms of the bad breath, I feel you, that's a really, really awkward problem to have, and I can imagine that it affects you a lot. So as I was saying, it can often be bacteria from within your gut that's causing the problem, and that can be a really, really awkward, difficult to deal with type of problem. So I would definitely recommend going to see a doctor about that, because it can be kind of a simple solution that you've got some sort of problem in your gut and that's what's causing it. So definitely go and look into that a little bit more seriously. But that is it for the embarrassing question video. I had loads of fun doing this. I like talking about embarrassing things. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. And if you've got any questions that you'd like me to answer, or you want me to do more of these types of videos, then leave them in the comment section down below and I'll do my best to get back to you. So I hope you'll have a great day, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.